The most prized trophy in American sports is once again up for grabs, and we're now down to just 8 teams that have a chance at holding the Lombardi at the end of the season. And while winning a Super Bowl would mean a lot for every team, it would mean more to some franchises than it would to others. More importantly, for each team that's left alive, the implications of winning and what it would mean for the league and its history is different for every team. But I'm sure you already read the title already, that's why you're here in the first place. So let's just get into what a Super Bowl would mean for each team that's left in the playoffs. And let's start with the Houston Texans. Not only would it be one of the greatest rags to riches stories in sports history, I mean, remember, last season they were, 6-11, and came into this season with most people's expectations of them being to be around the same. I mean, remember, they came into the season, you're starting a rookie quarterback, the defense looked bad last year, you have a rookie head coach, and to come into this season and to do what they've done and add on top of it a Super Bowl, absolutely one of the best rags to riches stories of all time. Not to say what they've done already isn't already incredible. It is. Getting a playoff win in the first year of this is really great, but this would take it to another level. Beyond that, though, it would cement CJ Stroud as the greatest NFL rookie of at least the last, 4 decades? And with a Super Bowl MVP, dare I say all time? Sorry, LT, but with a Super Bowl MVP, I might just have to give it to him. And in my eyes, it would also cement him as a top 5 quarterback in this league already. Remember, this is not what I think right now. This is in the case of a Super Bowl. And with a Super Bowl, I think you have to put him in that tier. Whatever ranking order you want to do it, it would have to be in some order of Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and CJ Stroud. He would jump Hurts, he would jump Herbert, he would jump Dak and Tua definitely. I don't know that you could keep him out of that tier for what he would have to do to get this Houston team to that point to where they win a Super Bowl. On to the Kansas City Chiefs. With a Super Bowl victory, it would cement that not only has a new dynasty started to form up in Kansas City, it would sign and seal that the dynasty has started, it is here, and we're in the middle of its reign. Now, that doesn't mean other teams won't win in between. I mean, hell, there was a 10-year gap between Super Bowl wins in the Brady-Belichick dynasty, but it does mean that other teams are going to be fighting for scraps in between inevitable Mahomes rings. It would also clarify to the league and the fans, just like with Tom Brady, it doesn't matter how bad it looks during the regular season, how many question marks there are about the offense. I mean, at times during the regular season, this offense looked so bad, the receiving core didn't even look like an NFL level receiving core. Once it hits the playoffs, it doesn't matter. Just like you did not bet against Tom Brady, if they go on to win a Super Bowl, you never bet against Patrick Mahomes. It would also almost guarantee a Kelsey Swift summer wedding, so get used to the sideline shots of her. She's going to be there for a while. For the Buffalo Bills, first of all, it would end Buffalo's curse of never being able to get it done in the playoffs. Gone would be the days of 4 straight Super Bowl losses in the 90s, and finally, the Bills could bring home the first championship the city of Buffalo has ever experienced. It would also mark them down in history as one of, if not the greatest mid-season turnarounds in NFL history. Remember, after Week 13, they were as low as they had ever been after a gut-wrenching overtime loss to the Eagles, staring up at the division and conference-leading 9-3 Dolphins, sitting 3 games back at 6-6 with only a 27% chance to make the playoffs. So not only do they go undefeated the rest of the way, steal the division from Miami, but they go on to win a Lombardi? An all-time storyline for what would be an incredibly memorable team. And lastly, it would silence any doubt that even I have had in the past about Josh Allen. Because forget the interceptions if you can gunsling your way to a Super Bowl. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. For the Baltimore Ravens, of course, it would show to everybody what has been clear since midseason. The Baltimore Ravens have been the best team all year, and with a Super Bowl victory, would finish it off as such. Now, not every year ends up with the best quote-unquote team winning it all, but this year it would. If you can't tell, the Ravens are my favorite to win it all. It It would also destroy any negative narrative about Lamar being a running back, not being as good of a passer as the other top quarterbacks, not being able to get it done in the playoffs because of his style of play. All of that, out the window, thankfully. Lastly, with good playoff performances, of course, it would clarify that the path to a Super Bowl in Baltimore always has been and always will be through an elite defense, with an incredible linebacker at its helm. A Super Bowl win for the Packers, while incredibly unlikely, let's be honest, it would almost certainly confirm what the rest of the NFC North is dreading. The Packers have found not only their next franchise quarterback, but with a Super Bowl win, it would almost guarantee that Jordan Love would be the third straight future Hall of Fame quarterback in Green Bay. Let's just hope he doesn't end up as much of a dickhead as the other two, though. It would also lock up a job for Matt LaFleur in Green Bay for pretty much as long as he wants. And it would put him in the conversation, deservedly so at that point, as one of the best coaches in the league. The Buccaneers? Let's not pretend like this is going to happen. Okay, fine, I'll do the Bucs. First of all, it would be the biggest Cinderella run in NFL history. I mean, that's pretty much what it would take. And that's pretty much the only positive thing I could possibly say about it. Well, also, it would be Baker Mayfield's comeback story, and he would secure himself a starting job in the league for the foreseeable future, whether that's with Tampa or anywhere else. Remember, at the start of this past year, there were questions of whether anyone was going to give him a starting opportunity. You know, he was going to be like a backup quarterback for the rest of his career. After a Super Bowl, he'll get a lot of opportunities. A Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions would 100% confirm what many of us already think. The Stafford-Goff trade would be solidified as the most beneficial and balanced trade in league history. I mean, think about it. The Rams get a starting caliber quarterback, a franchise quarterback, to immediately take their team to a Super Bowl, and that's exactly what he does, and he wins that Super Bowl. And the Lions get a ton of picks back in return and a competent quarterback. They draft really well with those picks, get incredibly impactful players with those picks, and 3 years down the line, they build a Super Bowl roster, and in this scenario, go on to win a Super Bowl. What else would you want out of a trade? That's exactly what both teams wanted, and if both teams get that, that trade goes down in history. And for bringing the city its first Lombardi, it would secure Dan Campbell as a Detroit sports legend, and probably secure him a statue outside of Ford Field. It would also prove me wrong, as with the Eagles going down last week, I think they're the only fraud team left out of the favorites still alive. And I promise that's an opinion I've held for a while now, ever since they almost lost to the Bears the first time they played, before they actually lost to them the second time, and that's not just salt from them beating my Rams. Mostly. If the 49ers won a Super Bowl, it would continue to stamp that old saying is true. Because no matter how much the league decides they want to lean more and more and more into offense, it still takes a great defense to win in the playoffs and when it matters the most, in the Super Bowl. It would also confirm that Brock Purdy was always the missing piece on those past Niner teams that came up short. It would also likely mean that I would have to admit that he's more than just a slightly above average quarterback, which is my opinion of him now, and I got roasted about it in my last video, talking about the MVP race a few months, or not months, but about a month ago. Yeah, I got roasted pretty bad over that one, but you know, I'm holding on to my opinion. But if they go on to win a Super Bowl, I will have to readjust. So they're gonna have to get there, but yeah, with the path that's in front of them, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy for them, but I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be easy for them to at least get there. And if they do go on to win a Super Bowl, it would also mean I would be sad, because that's my divisional rival, and that would not be fun. I would prefer them to lose. So anyways, let me know if I missed anything about the implications of any of these teams winning. And let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you agree, disagree on anything I said. And if you want more content from me, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it if you stick around. And hopefully I see you in my next video. Later.